Feels like in this moment, no matter how hard I try, every corner I turn, life keeps biting at me. Even with the beautiful backdrops of the endless deserts, of the snow-covered mountaintops, and of the low-tide sloughs, I think it's not only me that can agree that life is not always easy. Your 20s is just like that, they say. It's growing pains, they say. You'll figure it out, you always do, they say. Sometimes I wish there was a book to tell you where to go or what to do next, or who is worthy of your love. But no matter how much I wish I had that, life wouldn't be interesting or worth living if it was all mapped out. This is something I can say with confidence. I want to share the story of an experience that in this moment feels hard and like it will never get better. One day this will be a story that I will look on as a time that has shaped me and made me a stronger person. I hope to help anyone else who is going through a time in their life where they just can't catch a break, so maybe that you will feel less alone. We are going to go for a little walk. Something that I am finding is really helpful with processing this whole experience is going on really nice long walks. So we're gonna go on a walk and I am going to tell you the whole story of my crabbing experience from start to finish. If you are new here, my name is Loui and I've been posting on this channel for a little over 3 years now consistently. And yeah, I basically post pretty much every adventure, everything that happens in my life. I make a story of it and tell y'all about it. This story is one that starts when I was down in Utah. Southern Utah to be exact. I felt this need to come back to Southeast Alaska where my mom and I are working on a little home-based property, and I randomly received a text message from a friend telling me that there was a job crabbing available here in Southeast Alaska. And I thought, what a great way to be able to come back to Southeast Alaska for the summer and make some money for our home base, our property that we're building out. I was like, this will put me in a really great position for next year when we start building our little dream escape. I decided to drive the 1,700 miles to Michigan to meet my mother. She was in Michigan at the time. She offered so kindly to take care of my puppy boy, William. I was gone for the few months and store my Jeep in a town that I knew was a safe place to store something that is very valuable to me, as well as be able to see my grandmother when I left and to come back and visit with her. So then I promptly hopped on a plane back up to Southeast Alaska and was immediately thrusted into the world of crabbing. I spent the first few weeks preparing the crab pots to be set in the water, and that took us, about a week to do. And in that time I learned a whole lot, and learned that this was going to be a very intense job to have. So we prepared all the pots, we learned some safety things. Like I tried on an immersion suit for the first time. Legally you have to have one of those on your boat if you're a commercial fisher person for each of the people on your boat. From the start, I had to get very fit very quickly because some of these pots weighed 60 pounds. They weighed 40 to 60 pounds. I was very tired, to say the least, but I was running on adrenaline, learning a new skill, trying to prove myself in this industry where, frankly, it's a man's world. And so we got that done, and on the opening day we set 150 pots out in the water, in the beautiful Southeast Alaskan water. It is 4:06, June 15, 2022, and today is opening day for the crabbing season here in Southeast Alaska, and today is my first opening day as a crabbing deckhand. It's gonna be a -4 tide today on our opening day, which is not necessarily the best thing. So we have to be very strategic about how we lay our pots. There's our harbor.
was not connected.
It's always something.
Yes, the fuel line was not connected.
The only
They
reason.
said they.
Seaplane. We did it, y'all. We put all our pots in. Oh, do I look a mess? The one thing about this job I will never forget is how freaking beautiful it is on the water, and to have a purpose out on the water was just really, really nice. To put things on a more positive spin, I was waking up at 2 in the morning every morning in order to get to our skiff at 3 in the morning to cut bait for 150 pots every day, pretty much. Good morning, y'all. It is, what day is it? Today is June 16th, and today is day 2 of crabbing season. And if I look sleepy, it's because I freaking am. It is 3:25. I woke up at 3 o'clock and I'm headed down to the boat because I'm the one who has to cut all the bait in the morning. I get the fish fry job. No. Literally and figuratively. So I gotta make it down to the boat like right now and cut everything as fast as I can. And I haven't had coffee yet. I'm barely awake. It's barely light outside, look. And yeah, it's a high tide. Look how high the tide is. This is one of the higher tides. This is the only time of day I will record with my GoPro walking down the street. Otherwise I feel weird. Like, why is she recording herself? But yesterday was successful. We put in 150 pots and it was a lot of work. I was glad we had a second deckhand for the day, which really helped. Because I think I would have thrown up in like pain and agony and tiredness if I had been the only deckhand throwing those pots in the water. So I guess technically if you split in half, I did 75 pots, which I'm still proud of. Before I get started on the nasty part, this is what my outfit is. Yeah. What I'm about to do is not fun, and I'm sorry all my vegan and vegetarian friends. That's all I have to say. To say the least, cutting bait is not my favorite part. So basically how crapping works is after you lay your pots in the water, you go out every day to go haul them. Some people like to haul them every day, some people don't haul them every day. They let them do a thing called soaking. So you could say like, oh, I let my pots soak on a 2-day soak. Then you kind of calculate, okay, this is how many crab I got for how many pots on like a 2-day soak. For us, we were going out every single day. It was friggin' intense, y'all. Things were good, very good in the beginning. We were working out where to lay our pots in a very strategic way, and we were moving them, hauling them, collecting crab, and bringing them back to the cannery to sell every day. And it was hard work. There's some days I was out there for 12 hours working straight with hardly a break, to be honest. You can have a break when the boat's running from town to your spot, but throughout it you don't get very much of a break. The conditions, to say the least, are not very romantic, let's put it that way. And you know, I'm not complaining. This is what I signed up for. This is what I knew I was getting myself into. I completely consented to this. It was good for a time. I am just so amazed and impressed by people who do this every single year, because my body was starting to deteriorate quickly. I could not eat enough calories to really keep up with the amount of work I was doing every single day. I would bring food with me, and you can only bring so much food with you on the boat, or it's like a ridiculous amount, and there's only certain things you can eat when you're on a boat moving all the time. So I did not have enough time to ingest enough calories on the boat to keep up with what I was spending, caloric wise, and then I would get home and I would be so tired that it would be so hard for me to cook then. So it's not easy, y'all, being a deckhand on a crabbing skiff. Things started to go downhill after a while. The number of crab in the water, as we kind of expected, was low, but we did not expect it to be as low as it has been this year. The crab are not out there. We don't know where they are. We got zeros and ones pretty much every single pot. Occasionally we would get a surprise pot and that would have, you know, 5 or 6 or 7 crab in it, and that's like super exciting. And the thing about it is you can collect crab in your pot, but you can only keep certain ones. You have to collect the male Dungeness crab that are hard shell and that are a specific size, which I believe is 7 inches in width. I'll put a little diagram or something here. So even if you're collecting 20 crab in your pot, you know, a lot of them would be females and a lot of them you could not keep. First week was one of the most challenging weeks ever. Just adjusting to waking up that early and being out on the water for that long was hard. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling, like massively struggling. So yeah, that was the beginning, the first few weeks of crabbing, and hopefully I illustrated kind of like what the process of it is pretty well. I mean, basically your schedule goes that you wake up really early as the deckhand, you get to the boat, you cut the bait, prepare it, and then you run out to your crab pots, you haul them. That takes a pretty long time, especially if you have 150 pots. Took us about 8 hours probably in total to haul all of them. You haul them, you move some around to be more strategic in your placement, and then you think your day's over after that. After that, you have to go sell your crab to the cannery. Do that, then you fill up on bait for the next day. And you fill up on ice if it's a warm day, or it's predicted to be a warm day the next day. You need ice to be able to keep your crab alive. So you do that, you get your bait, you do that. Then you go to the fuel dock and you fuel up your boat for the next day. And then after that, you get back to your stall and you have to clean the whole boat because it's pretty gross afterwards. So there's like, you know, bait guts and stuff. So I would be in charge of cleaning the whole entire boat, basically. So much freaking work, y'all. This is the hardest I've ever worked in my life. Like, you'd work 8 hours on the water and then have to do another 2 hours of work in town, like near the harbor and stuff. And hardest freaking work ever, y'all. If you've ever eaten Dungeness crab in your life, people go through a lot to harvest it, and that's why it's expensive. Oh. Pizza package. Today I present to y'all the Mebak 3 massage gun. This has come at a really, really good time, y'all. I am resting and recovering from doing a lot of physical work, and I have tried and tested this new massage gun out, and I can say this thing has made all the difference in my recovery. This little kit comes with a bunch of little pieces, which I really like, that can help you get to the different areas of your body, like your spine or your ankle. Turn it on, it tells you how much power is left in the battery. And you press this cute little thumbprint button and you got a massage gun. It has been so nice to be able to massage out my sore muscles, because believe it or not, days later I still have sore muscles. It's really great because this is what it sounds like at the highest level. I'm not sure what it sounds like with other massage guns, but I'd say this is on the quieter side. So hopefully my neighbors don't hear and think something shady's going on. If you're looking for a massage gun that is lightweight, does not make a ton of sound, and is cordless, I highly recommend this Mebak 3. I've tried it out. It totally fits into my life. So thank you to Mebak for sponsoring this video. I'll leave a link in the description below to check out their massage guns there. All right, back to the video. So about when things started to really go downhill and we really started to see that the numbers were starting to decline in the places that we were, we had to, you know, figure out another plan, and work got a little bit harder. We were moving pots every day. I wasn't making really any money on some of the days working because we were moving pots instead of hauling pots. It's nobody's fault that there's no crab. And during that time we were realizing it was going to be a really bad year, and everyone else was starting to realize that. And then while that was happening, I was realizing that a relationship that I was hoping could work out and maybe would work out wasn't gonna work out. On top of everything that was going on, having a freaking broken heart just like does not make the equation any better. You know, I don't share a lot about that stuff on here because I feel like my love life is something I would like to keep generally pretty private and stuff. But to illustrate this story, my heart was broken and I was out on the water, and a plan that I thought was gonna work didn't end up working, and realizing that I had to have boundaries in my love life and I had to have boundaries in the real world and a work world was a lot for me to kind of navigate. So I had to break ties with this person, and I also had to figure out a way to amicably end this business relationship. On a good year of crabbing, a deckhand like me knew green to it could have made, you know, anywhere from 10 to, at the upward, very rare years, 19,000, you know, 19K. And this year, it's just so bad. At this point, my skipper really could not afford to keep me on at a rate that is fair and humane, in my opinion. So there was just a day where it all just came to a head. Everything, you know, I'm a sensitive and emotional person. Yes, I'm strong, but it got to a point where I just could not handle it anymore, and I had to quit. I had to have some boundaries and do the grown adult woman thing and say, hey, this is not serving me anymore. So while I could have continued the crab season for, you know, another few weeks, it was not guaranteed that I was going to be making any money doing it. Well, I was killing myself for this. So, ooh, salmon berries. I think you have really grown up when you can amicably end something. You know, you can be honest with people and say that this isn't serving me anymore, and how can we work towards ending this business relationship. I'm no longer crapping anymore, and I'm really happy about it. It's taken me 4 days to be able to even to begin to think about filming this video because I've just been so tired. I've been sleeping so much and eating so much, and finally, after 4 days, I finally feel like I'm in a place where I can talk about this, and like I feel rested enough to even go for a walk. This has all come at a good time because the salmon berries are out. Probably shouldn't eat the ones close to the road though. Dogs walk back here. Get the ones over here. So it's no hard feelings for the person that I was working for. Never. But you have to do what is right for you. I'm so lucky to be able to lean on some of the friends that I have here. They gave me solid advice for how to handle it, what was actually fair treatment and all of that, and for that I'm really grateful. You know, there's always a silver lining to everything. It's really shown me that there are people who do care about me here and that do want to see me happy and healthy, and that I can lean on them. So thank you. You know who you are if you're watching this. You literally helped me out of a very dark time and are continuing to help me through a very dark time. What feels like a very dark time, because I mean, I think in a few months I'll look back on this experience and it'll feel kind of funny to me, or I'll just realize that I've grown from this. I'm a salmon berry eater. I just pick them and eat them. I know you should wash them, but I'm gross. What can I say? I hope this explains my story of my crabbing experience to you guys. Yeah, it's a hard job. It's not easy. I knew that going in, and I think something that I'm trying to work through currently is not making myself feel bad about quitting something that didn't serve me anymore. That was not fair, you know, and I don't like to quit things. Like, I really, really do not like to quit things. And so this is just alone has been really hard for me to be okay with, you know, quitting is a harsh word, as my mom says. I should say it's more of moving on from something that does not serve you. So I don't know if I'm allowed to be down here. I spend my days just walking around now, trying to figure out what comes next. I know for a solid fact that YouTube will always be a thing. Sharing videos on here of my adventures will always be a thing. Oh hey, look, a crab. That is not a dried crab. But will I always know what the adventures are gonna be? Most definitely not. Just walking around and sitting in places. Well, this view is beautiful. Some positive things that I have learned from this experience is generally the overlay of what the crabbing fishery industry looks like. I've learned how to read tide tables really well. I learned how to read currents. Well, I've learned a whole bunch of knots that are going to be super useful, and I've kind of learned the confidence to eventually have my own little skiff. Nothing big, something small, like a little 16-foot skiff with a small outboard or something that I can go around and explore in. So I guess at the end of the day, chalk it up to experience. It's nobody's fault that the crabbing season ended up being complete and utter. And yeah, I have this experience under my belt, this adventure under my belt. I guess at the end of the day, that's pretty freaking cool, and I should be proud of myself for working that hard for that long. This is why you wear extra tufts everywhere and not your freaking chacos. When I started this channel, I had the intention of being a voice of the many here on this platform, sharing their life's ups and downs, in hopes of inspiring other people like me to live an adventurous life that is uniquely your own. There's one thing that I can say with certainty, and that is that I want to continue to do that. I think it's easy to get caught up in the game of social media and the image of perfection, and that your life is peachy keen all the time, and caught up in the numbers and popularity that you have. However, that's not me and will never be me. So if there are a few things that I'm absolutely sure of, it's that I know that I would really like to continue to build my storytelling skills and my videography skills. I know that I want to continue to express myself in a way that is true and authentic. And I know that I want to keep adventuring and being open to new experiences, even if they turn out to be the opposite of what my expectations are. That, I believe, is what your 20s is about and why it's so hard. You have to learn how to be okay with uncertainty.